Good morning, everybody. It's the return of glow-in-the-dark Pops.
Yes, it's me.
And
Buenos dias, amigos.
we have a little east-west meets south. Look what my mom made for me today. For all you Tennessee brothers and sisters. Biscuits and gravy, fresh from my mom. There's the east. And then west, we have Phil's coffee here. And south, of course, Pop's doing his usual Tex-Mex or whatever that is. Scandinavian Spanish thing.
Esta mañana mi alma venga a la Mercado Libertad en Guadalajara. Oye, los Mariachi Vargas de Taquitlán cantan y tocan Jalisco.
Now I lost what you said there. Something about the store in Guadalajara.
My soul transports me to Guadalajara, Mexico this morning.
Ah. Okay.
In my favorite group.
I don't know why this takes you to Guadalajara, Mexico, but do they eat biscuits and gravy in Guadalajara? Probably not. But.
No.
All right, anyway, we're going to have some breakfast here and then get back to work. All right, so the discussion Pops and I are just having is parts all over the floor here. The gaps on the doors, are those, let me see those two, please. The shims? Oh, how convenient. All right, so we have two 1/8" shims here, so 1/4 inch. So this is about a 1/4 inch gap here. A little more up there. A little wide, so this guy could stand to come back some more. As I said in a previous video, I was planning on keeping these at 1/4 instead of 3/16, which is what I'm going with everywhere else. This is 3/16 here, a little shim pack there. So the top of that is 3/16, but then it widens up down here to about 1/4 again. So the question is, do we want to try and pull these fenders back to 3/16, and then I have to grind this out here. Well, I have to grind this out here anyway. Or leave it here. And as Pops was saying, every time we try to tighten up this gap, we end up with all this stuff, it's just too tight in here. But we kind of have to make this decision now because we're doing final body work now. So once we put the hood on and everything and get it lined up, that's kind of it. So one thing to look at there, we'll put the hood on and see how it lines up back here, I guess. And then that might tell us if we have to move the fenders. Everything else is lined up pretty well on the car, so that's basically it. So yeah, I guess we should do that first, throw the hood on and then see how it looks there and then go from there. Hood. Now the only part of the car that's not primed. Otherwise it would be all black. But no. Alright, well we got it on. We ended up with a pretty tight gap over here. So Pops suggested just mash on it. So that's what we did, just push the hinges over, and that opened up a pretty decent gap there. I'll give it a tour here, show you where we are. So on the passenger side, we have pretty good lines there, as you can see. That's pretty tasty. Gap's pretty good here. It opens up a lot here at the front. We had this problem before, and I think the way we fixed it was taking the core support at the bottom and pulling it out this way. And that rotates the nose cone, pulls it back a little bit, so we'll try that trick again. And then on the driver's side, we have a good gap at the back there, but it opens up quite a bit at the front. And you can see we still have a pretty big gap right here. So we're going to see if there's anything we can do to get the fender to come this way. And then play with that core support and see if we can get this to line up better. Alright, so that is, I think, about as good as we're going to get it here. Pops and I were just discussing these headlight housings here, and yeah, they're pot metal, so you can't bend them, and that's as good as they line up. Pretty uniform on both sides. So that's about it. This is the broken headlight housing. Got another one coming soon, so hopefully it This one fits really well though, which is sad. It just clicks right in there. The other one over there is a nightmare. You gotta bang it to get into place. So Pops is gonna take a picture here, and can you get the hood for me, please? Not with your bare hands. What are you doing? I could have done that myself. I got it here. Shaky cam. So I'm trying to be good about it because this is not primed yet. So, and then it actually closed up a little bit. That's a little bit better.
Much better.
Well, how about that? And the rest of it here, the hood's sitting a little low right now, but don't worry about that. Gap-wise, it's going to be a little bit open in the front here. We can slide the hood forward a little bit more to close that up. We may still do that. The gaps aren't perfect though. Frustrating thing is on this side. I remember way back in the day, this thing was way too far over this way, so I split it to move it over, and now it's too tight. Something changed along the way. Solar flares, what, I don't know. So yeah, I think we can slide the hood forward a smidge more. That'll actually help. Yeah, let's try that if we can next. But everything else, we got the upper, lower valences are on. Those all fit pretty well. I got this gap tightened up here. This was pretty ugly before. Still not great, as you can see, but it's a second-gen Camaro, man. I don't think they get any better than this. All right, so let's try that, and then we're going to put the trunk on, and then the car is assembled. All right, we have most of the pieces back on now. Okay, look, we washed it. It's the first time this car's ever been washed since it's been in my possession. So we're gonna get a look at it here. Put the trunk back on, the filler panel back in. That looks pretty. So one thing that was really interesting is when I took this trunk off, I did the registration drills through the hinges so that when we put it back on, it would go back in exactly the right place. Did it?
Yes. No, not even close.
It was shifted this way by about 1/8 of an inch. It was totally wrong. I have no idea how, so we had to manually reposition everything. And you know, where it is now is not where the holes are for the drill bit, so I have no idea what happened. But we'll give you the tour here, give you the gaps. So remember, if you go way back, I did a lot of work on this trunk here to get those edges perfect. That's why I was so frustrated when we put this back on and nothing lined up. I spent weeks getting all this stuff great, and then it didn't fit anymore. This is all nice up here. This lays out pretty nicely here. And I forget, I'm sorry, somebody mentioned in a few videos back about doing the panel alignment to start at the doors and work your way forward. And I covered this many, many videos ago, but I did do that. So we've got these gaps on the doors basically as good as we can get them. You pull the door out there, you can see the bottom line there. This is very nice. The gaps are basically 3/16 all the way around. It's nice and flush everywhere. So this is money back here. And then, you know, from there forward, you do what you do. So we decided we're going to leave these at 1/4 inch. So I'm going to come back later and open this gap up a little bit here so it's uniform with everything else. And you can see this doesn't line up anymore. So I've got to do some work on this to get this all sorted out. Again, give you the view of the hood. Lines there. We have got these gaps pretty nice here. The hood's a little tighter. We pulled it up close. I remember now when Pops and I were talking about this, that this is the way this always was. This edge never worked here. It was always too tight. So we're gonna grind this back here to make this fit, because it's a pretty nice 3/16 all the way across here, except a couple little places. So we'll just go and clean those spots up. And then keep coming around. Same thing over here. This is a little wide here, so we're gonna have to build that edge up a little bit. And I can't pull this fender back anymore. It really doesn't want to move. We may try a little bit before we start doing the metal here, see if we can yank it back a little bit, but this edge here is perfect. If you take the straight edge and run it along here, that's exactly where it's supposed to be. So may have to deal with that. You know, this large gap difference here, which sucks, but what are you gonna do? You can see it's just too tight right in through here, so unless I want to break this open again and pull this edge back to open it up, it is what it is. And then coming back again here, got your door gaps are all nice, all the way down, flush. So it's very good back there. So that's it. You can see it's clean-ish. Another car. Told Pops, take it down to the DMV, get it registered. Or not.
With those tires, they'll probably buy it. What?
Yeah, probably. All right, so that's going to do it for today. We're just going to clean up here and get back to work. So anybody have any commentary on what you see here, let me know. I'm always open for suggestions on things we can fix, make better. Anyway, that's it. Thanks, everybody. See you later, Pops.